What's going on, guys? We are Tottenham TV here, back again for another predicted lineup for you guys. We have Wolves at the Molineux, 7:15 on Sunday. It's a big game. As Spurs win, we do go second, although it could be temporary, depending on what the Everton result was. But if we do win, we can push up the table, seeing as Leicester and Man United drew. So it's a very, very important game. Wolves on a pretty bad form with 3 losses of their last 4. However, the game they did win was against Chelsea. But I'm here with Slav. We're going to see if we can predict what the lineup is going to be. How you doing, Slav?
I'm good, thank you. How you doing? Did you have a nice Christmas?
Yeah, it was all right, I guess.
Merry Christmas to everyone that subscribes to us as well and watches, albeit it's now Boxing Day. But
I'm not sure many people had a great Christmas this year, to be honest.
Yeah, I hope everyone had as nice a Christmas as they possibly could.
Yeah, for sure. It's a good point message to put out. But all right, let's get into the lineup. Sorry?
Let's get into it.
Let's do it. So obviously in goal, Hugo's definitely going to start. We're assuming right back, a bit of a dilemma because obviously Aurier gave away that penalty. Yeah, Aurier gave away that penalty against Leicester last time out. Doherty came in, didn't exactly pull up any trees against Stoke, but did he do enough to retain his place? Do you think, Slav?
Not really. I think he lost his man completely for the goal as well against Stoke. Hasn't exactly looked, the most exciting of signings. Lazy getting back. Hasn't really done too much going forward.
I'm not sure if he's lazy getting back or he just doesn't have the pace.
Yeah, I'm not too convinced on Matt Doherty at the moment. People will say otherwise, but for me, I'm not convinced. I think Aurier, up until the penalty last weekend, I think he was having a good game. And then he had his Aurier moment, and then it sort of got worse and worse and worse. And it's a difficult situation, and both are right. I mean, if he has a good game, Aurier, he's as good a right back as anyone. But how often does he have these days?
Yeah, that's the thing. But I think we're going for Aurier, right, on Sunday?
Yeah.
He starts. I agree with you on Matt Doherty. He hasn't exactly convinced yet, but I don't know. I had question marks when we signed him whether he's going to be a right fit for us, and it hasn't turned out that way just yet.
I think out of all this, I think we did really well in the summer with the recruitment. On the whole, I just think he's maybe a weak link, and maybe look at another right back in the summer. Who knows?
Yeah, I think it's just the fact that we've gone for such a good value, didn't we? For one who was one of the best right backs going forward. Over the last couple of years, but he hasn't really shown it much for Spurs, and I think it was because of the system. He's not kind of playing the right system for us. Anyway, we're going to move Aurier the right back. Left back, Reguilón probably comes in for Davis, although Davis had a good game against Stoke. I think Reguilón starts.
Yeah, I mean, he caught out for the goal. Went backwards a lot, and then obviously he scored a good goal, but look, he just tried his luck from 30 yards and it went in. But he's okay. I think Reguilón will play. Adama
against Adama as well. If Adama plays, you don't want to him out Davis.
Back in. But yeah, I think that this game is more suited to Reguilón than Davies. So yeah, Reggie and Aurier at fullback.
Okay, Reggie and Aurier fullback, and then centre backs. We were returning to Toby and Dye together, I'm assuming.
Yeah, again, Davinson Sanchez. Yeah, who got in the team of the week in the Carabao Cup in midweek? I don't know why.
Well, he got in the team because Joe Rodon's cup tied, I think.
No, the team of the week.
Oh, did he? Team of the week?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that.
He scored team of the week, and I don't know why. I thought, look, I'm not a big Dave fan at the moment, unfortunately. If we got a good offer for him, I'd happily let him go. He's been with us 3 years now. He hasn't improved.
4th year, I think.
Pardon?
This is his 4th year.
Yeah, he hasn't developed and matured into the centre back that we hoped he would end up being. And he's always a bit like Aurier, always got that mistake in him. He's not commanding. And I think it might be time to cash in on players like him and see if we can get a better centre back to come in.
Mourinho doesn't seem to fancy him, does he?
No, exactly. And you can see why. I can't remember the last time he had a good game. Couldn't keep a clean sheet against a team that struggled for goals in the Championship. And I think, Toby and Dye are our best defensive partnership, despite...
Any chance for you that Rodon gets a run out on this game, or do you think, or over the festive period?
I think Joe Rodon is a good defender. I like him. He was good against Chelsea. At the moment, Can you drop one of Toby or Dyer? I don't really see a reason to. I know we lost to Liverpool, which was unlucky. Leicester, the whole team were a shambles last Sunday. And Palace, do you blame them? I don't know. I think we need to work on this defensive side of set pieces, but yeah, I don't think you can drop either of the centre backs. So Toby and Dyer.
Yeah, I agree with you. I hope to see Roden at some point over the festive as well, because I think he's good enough to get some game time. But the thing is, it works well for us that Jimenez is out and you just play Toby and Dyer, and they're not going to have that real threat up front, I feel, in the striking.
I agree. I also think maybe he could play against Fulham, Roden. Could be a good game.
That's a good point, because the games come to
give him minutes. So
okay. All right, so Toby and Dyer come in at centre back again. In the midfield, we got Højbjerg, who's obviously going to start because he's just our general Mr. Consistent. Exactly, but partnering him, I think there's a bit of a debate to be had in terms of would it be Sissoko or Winks, only because Winks had a very good game against Stoke on Wednesday, so he is in with a shout to come in this game. But do you feel like we stick with Sissoko?
Yeah, I think Mourinho loves him. He even last weekend against Leicester, you're chasing the game. You need to bring on some attacking players. He shoved them to right back. I don't really see what Sissoko offers as a right back that Aurier doesn't.
Agreed.
And I would have taken Sissoko off for the striker, for Vinicius, who can't seem to get a game, which is really disappointing, considering how much he begged for a striker and how much we all begged for a striker. So it will be Sissoko. He loves Sissoko. He loves the role that he does. Winks, he had a good game against Stoke, but Mourinho has his team, doesn't he?
He does. I can see like Winks. I think I agree with you in terms of Roden playing against Fulham. I can see Winks coming in against Fulham as well, because I think he's more suited to that game. I think in this game we're going to need Sissoko's energy against Neves and Moutinho, who are two very crafty technicians in the centre there. We can't afford to give them time on the ball, I feel, in the centre with Dendoncker out, which benefits us because they lose a bit of steel in the centre.
No, I didn't know he was out. I thought he was just 50-50.
He's a major doubt, apparently, so I'm going to assume he's not going to play.
They've got the young kid as well.
Sorry?
They've got that young kid who played against Chelsea and then Burnley.
Yeah, that's right, he did. I think it was more from the wide positions, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think I just don't see it as much. I don't even mind who plays that Sissoko role, because we don't have any standout. I mean, you'd have Gio, but he's injured. We don't have any standout, midfielders there, which is why I'm quite excited at the prospect of someone like Sabitzer coming in.
Agreed.
So I think it would just be Sissoko. I think we just got to accept that that's who is going to be in that position for a while.
All right, so Højbjerg, Sissoko can obviously stick with the double pivot, with Giovanni Lo Celso being ruled out in the attacking midfield position. Dele Alli had a run out on Wednesday, but Ndombele being rested completely from the squad on Wednesday, he probably comes back in. Yeah.
No other creativity for midfield otherwise. I mean, unless you play Dele Alli, who isn't going to play.
Do you think he's been treated harshly, Dele, in your opinion?
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Dele, but I'm also very critical, and I think he deserves the criticism that he gets, especially at the moment. He's not performing. I didn't think he was that great on Wednesday against poor opposition. Should have scored a couple of goals. The problem with Dele is that he's not and never has been a footballer, someone to get on the ball and ping past it, like sort of that Bruno role. He is someone to get on the end of things and to score goals. Little one touch around the corner to slip someone in, a little back post header, whether it's back across goal or into the net, something, you know what I mean, like something like, or to produce something special like we've seen over the years against Palace, against Arsenal. He's like sort of that luxury player, and that's the problem. He's trying to play like a footballer, dropping so deep to get the ball, coming so far out wide to get the ball, still trying to do the nutmegs. So that's where I'm critical of Dele, but I don't like the way that he has been, ridiculed by Jose. I think saying it's his fault for the goal, calling him out for the goal, I mean, partly is his fault for losing the ball, but you've got to take some risks. And what about?
I agree.
I don't understand why he's not calling out the horrendous defending for that goal. It was awful.
Yeah, Agreed.
Um,
But I can
so
understand why he was getting on a Dele, because Dele was actually in a very good position to start a counter attack,
yeah,
and instead of developing the counter, he took this really silly flick in inside his own half and gave the ball away, and that must be very, very frustrating for Jose, who lives a lot on counter attacks. But I can understand his frustration.
yeah.
I think he went about. I agree with you. I think he went about overboard, blaming him totally for the goal.
There you go. So it's difficult, and I think it's just we're just going to have to accept that Dele Alli is going to most likely end up being our version of the. For example, maybe it definitely won't be as good as him, but the sort of De Bruyne situation at Chelsea, where he was given a chance by Jose, didn't fancy him, went somewhere else and became a worldie. It wouldn't surprise me if Dele went to PSG with Poch in January and turned back into Dele that he is. So I think it's just going to have to be one of those where you have to get rid of him for the benefit of the team and essentially regret it in part, and hope maybe one day he comes back, but we'll see. It's disappointing because we all love Dele. That's what it is. It's just disappointing.
All right. So anyway, Ndombele played.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's in the attacking midfield position. Then on the left, obviously Son. He's pretty much got that place nailed down. Up front, we have Harry Kane. He's obviously going to start in it because it's a massive game for us. But on the right, we have a few options. Not only do we have Bergwijn and Lucas, who obviously usually compete for the right-hand spot. Bale, who is probably a doubt after the injury going off a Wednesday, but haven't heard anything about him being ruled out yet, so I'm going to assume he's fit. But we also have another option now in Eric Lamela, who's came on against Stoke. Did a really great job. I think we've missed him a bit in terms of when he's been out. We've lacked that bit of option, a bit of aggression up front. Someone who looks like a bit of a spark. He was having a good season for injuries. I don't know how many times we've said that in his career, but yeah, probably. But he came back against Stoke and did a really good job. So, is there a chance he starts for you?
Yeah, I don't think he'll start. I don't think he'll start due to the injury problems he's had. To be honest, I'd start him because sooner or later he's going to be injured for 6 games again. So just use him whilst you've got him. It's not even banter anymore. He will be injured in the next 6 weeks. It's just the way it is. It's the way he works. And it's just sort of like one of those guaranteed things. So I'd start him. I don't think anyone else deserves the place.
Who's your money on Mourinho picking on Sunday?
Lucas Moura.
You reckon Lucas?
Who's been really poor. I think he scored 1 Premier League goal this season. Bale has 1. Bergwijn and Lamela don't have any.
Well, he left Bergwijn at home on Wednesday, so is that not a...
Yeah, it could be Bergwijn. It's frustrating. Everyone loves Lucas because of what he did in that Champions League semi-final, but he's been terrible since that game. When was the last time you watched a Spurs game and you thought, oh, Lucas Moura was unplayable?
Post-lockdown, I would say he had a couple of good games. I remember the North London derby at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I remember he had a really good game then. But apart from that, you're right. It's too inconsistent from him.
It's a case of would you cash in on him now to coming up to 30? He's not going to win you. You're not going to win the league with players like him, unfortunately. It's just a fact. It's just the way it is. It's not even like I'm trying to, cuss out these players. It's just the way it is. You can't sit there and say, yeah, Lucas Moura would he get into Liverpool's team? Would he get into United's team, City's team? No. I think the only thing out of the
I think if he's a squad player, he's not the worst squad player to have.
He's a good squad player, but he's at Spurs. He's more than a squad player. He starts more games than he's on the. I like Lucas. I love Lucas. He can produce magic just like the rest of them, but it's about consistency.
Yeah.
And he doesn't do it consistently. So that's just the way I feel about him. I love him as a person. I love him when he does do something special. I think when he's on it, he's a good player. But it's just about sometimes you just got to bite the bullet and move on and bring in someone more consistent. But it hasn't happened yet. But I'd go with Lamela on the right. It's a weird one. He's so frustrating, but you just love the fact that he just runs and presses and kicks people and can score a goal, can make something. So I'd go Lamela on Sunday.
Should we say Lamela then on the right-hand side?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Who do you think?
I think it'll be Bergwijn just by the nature of him being left out on Wednesday. That tells me he's probably going to start. But he has been left out ever since he had those 2 missed chances at Liverpool. He was left out against Leicester. Didn't get involved at all. And then obviously left out the squad against Stoke. But I don't think it's anything to do with Mourinho not trusting him. I just think against Leicester, he took him out the firing line because of all the, the abuse and everything he was getting. And then against Stoke, I think he left him at home because we had 7 subs, and I think he wanted to save him for the Sunday. So I think we are going to go Bergwijn, but I think it is at the moment between Bergwijn and Lamela, because I just don't think I don't think Lucas or Bale are quite doing enough. Although I thought Bale, underrated goal, by the way, I thought he scored on Wednesday. Really nice finish.
Yeah, good header. I think he's been massively disappointing.
Yeah, he hasn't quite hit the heights yet, has he, Gareth Bale?
I'm willing to give it a bit more time, but at the moment it's been very disappointing. Just doesn't get involved, doesn't do anything with the ball. I don't expect him to be, Bale from no one does. I don't expect him to outpace someone, but just doesn't do anything with the ball. Doesn't beat a man. Sorry, I just said I don't expect him to, beat, but doesn't cut inside and beat a man. Doesn't really shoot much. His free kicks are terrible.
Did a good one against Antwerp though, didn't he?
Yeah, didn't. I mean, the one on Stoke was dreadful.
Yeah,
but
didn't
go in net against Antwerp. I know it eventually did, but not from him. I love Bear. I don't know what I'm expecting. That's the thing. I don't know what I'm expecting him to do. I just feel like he could do a bit more. Bergwijn, I think he got a lot of unfair criticism. Those 9 times out of 10 that will hit the post and go in at Anfield. And he's young, he'll learn. It's a bit different, I think, with Bergwijn to Lucas. Lucas has been here, 3-4 years, or something like that. A couple years longer than Bergwijn. So I think Bergwijn definitely needs more time, and I think he'll come good. I really think he'll come good. Just needs to get more confidence.
So let's run through that lineup for you guys again. We're going to go Lloris in goal, Aurier right back, Reguilon left back, Toby and Dyer in the centre, with a midfield 3 of Højbjerg, Sissoko and Ndombele, and a front 3 of Son, Kane and Lamela, I guess we're going for. We'll go for Lamela because I think he did come on and make a real good impact against Stoke, and I think there's a good chance of him starting against Wolves. But we do have the games coming thick and fast, so whoever doesn't play against Wolves has a very good chance of playing against Fulham and against, I believe it's Villa after Fulham, isn't it? Leeds, and against Leeds. So we have to. I wouldn't be surprised if Bergwijn plays and Lamela plays against Fulham and vice versa.
That's a team very capable of winning tomorrow.
Agreed. What's your prediction?
2-0 to Spurs.
2-0. All right. So he's confident. I'm going to go 2-1.
I think we'll keep a clean sheet. I don't know why. I never normally think that, but I just think we'll keep them out.
Let us know in the comments below your predictions. Let us know what you thought of the predicted lineup. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.